Hi, friends. This is the third in a series of videos I am producing about publishing and platforming on the occasion of the launch of my newest book, Greater Things, The Work of the New Creation. Yesterday, I talked about how I had been writing and platforming actively for about 15 years, but had gotten to a place of real ambivalence because I had realized that platforming was not good for my soul. Partly this was personal. I had become known as what I would call church tech guy, and that was close to, but not exactly my ministry mission statement. And so that was increasingly bothering me. I was also increasingly bothered by what I was seeing as I was out and speaking on the conference circuit in this kind of church growth movement at the time. I was seeing a lot of ego, frankly, a lot of ambition, a lot of selling for the sake of developing people's careers, and it deeply bothered me. No, I never made it to the top of the mountain of Christian celebrity, if you will, but I was far enough up the side of the hill that I could see the top, and I realized that there wasn't really a lot there. A lot of ambition, a lot of successful people, but not necessarily a lot of Jesus. Now, there's a lot of great people in thought leadership in the church today that are doing great things for the kingdom of God, but they were nowhere less broken than any of us. And I realized that the system is not helpful. The system is not good for the soul and does not encourage the kingdom. My problem was that my livelihood was attached to my platform. I had worked myself into a corner where I was completely dependent on platforming to make a living and to support my wife and four young kids. This came to a head one day when I received a box of T-shirts in the mail. This was about 2008, and my partner and friend Jason Moore and I had decided that we wanted to sell T-shirts that said media ministry on them to churches that were outfitting volunteer crews for weekend worship technology and design. And so we'd ordered all these T-shirts. I'm sitting there folding T-shirts one day, and I'm realizing that this isn't my calling. Of course, there's nothing wrong with T-shirts. Volunteers or crews need those. People buy T-shirts all the time in churches. But for me at that point, there was something about that was a tipping point for everything that we had been doing, all the platforming and all the work. And I got to a place where I realized that maybe we were making some decisions based on short-term need and profit instead of what was necessarily good for God's kingdom in my own life. I don't want to speak for Jason. This is what I was going through. I was in a difficult place spiritually, relationally, and increasingly financially as well. Um, and I had to do something different. People come to me now as publisher of Invite and they want to write and platform. And sometimes I wonder if they really know what they're asking for. Uh, have you seen, there's a TED Talk by a well known author named Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote a book called Eat, Pray, Love. And in the TED Talk, she tells creatives, don't quit your day jobs. I love that. I think maybe there's something there where she understands the dangers of platforming. Um, Things were not working for me. They were actually kind of falling apart fairly quickly. And so I was praying as fervently as I've ever prayed. It's amazing what happens to your faith when you've got no other options. And that's where I was. And I asked God for a lifeline. Um, Now, I had been, of course, writing a lot, sending the books are the basis. The way it works in publishing is that the books don't make you a lot of money, but they get out there and people discover your ideas, and then they invite you in to speak, to consult, to teach, and then that's where the income comes from. So I wrote a proposal for I'd written 9 books. I wrote a proposal for book number 10 and sent it off to my editor, and he wrote back and said, "Hey, that's a good proposal, but I've actually want to talk to you about a job instead." And he invited me to come join the publishing house and join the publishing industry. Um, an amazing offer, but it meant that I had to make a huge decision to leave my platform. As problematic as it was, I knew there's value, and so I had, in order to take the job, I had to let go of so much of what I was doing. So that became one of the biggest decisions of my life. Do I let go of this platform and all that I had done to build it up in order to create this new thing, and to follow what God might be doing. So tomorrow in video number 4, I will talk about what happened with that and what I learned about publishing.